Well, Grand Rising, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom. Good day to everyone. Excuse me. Thank you for joining me this AM. This is Coffee, Herbs, and Achoti. I am Achoti Tamora, and thank you for tuning in now and later. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me this AM, and I say thank you. So, y'all see the title. I was like elated that there's someone in the halls of Congress that's saying, hey, you guys are not even speaking on the fact that reparations have not been paid to the Black Americans. But our friends over on the right, they're not in agreement with Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Let's go ahead and pull Miss Crockett's picture up because sister's getting some hate. They don't really like this right now. They don't like what she's suggesting. They don't like the fact that she's suggesting that Black folks don't pay taxes, right? So let's go ahead and put our picture up so we'll know exactly who we're talking about for those of us who are not familiar with who Jasmine Crockett is. This is a representative from Texas, and she's been very, very vocal on the subcommittees when they have their hearings. I can't remember which committee she sits on, but she's on a couple committees, and also, of course, when she's on the floor, she doesn't miss words. Okay, and she went viral for allegedly stating that she suggested that Black folks should not pay federal taxes. So let's start the morning off by listening to our friends at Fox. They say that they're Fox and Friends. I believe that's their logo, right? So I don't know if this is the friends of Fox Friends or whatever particular broadcast, but we're gonna go ahead and pay attention to what they say because, however, it is. You know what I'm saying? It is um, coffee, herbs, and a cold tea. So I say coffee cup up to you. This morning I'm doing herbs, doing the tea thing this morning. Now, actually, I started doing the tea thing the top of the week. So I just want to switch it up. Coffee is more for the winter time to warm you up. And since we're moving into a little warmer temperatures, I said, well, I'll change that because I have to go out there in the fields. You know what I mean? So heat and coffee, this does not do good for my body. So, however, I'll say teacups up as well. If we're on that herbal tea this morning, yes, we are. I have a special tea that I like to do. So I'll explain that to you guys. Because some may say this is not a tea, but I think what I put in here is my concoction. So I'll give y'all, get y'all in on it. This is my personal detox that I do. So in the morning, takes one bottle of water, about a tablespoon of cayenne pepper, a tablespoon of cinnamon, half a tablespoon of garlic, some hot boiling water. Put all that in there, and I stir it up, and that's my tea. So I got the herbs going on this morning. The coffee cup's up to you if you're drinking your coffee. It's probably your second cup by now. It's 10:13. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Okay, so Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, get our picture up here again, has suggested, so the media is saying that she suggested that Black Americans should be exempt from paying federal taxes as a way of paying reparations. And so our friends at Fox News had this to say about it. Let's go ahead and watch this together. Uh-oh.
Debate, and these numbers are big. At least 21 cities and counties across America are considering a reparations program. Evanston, Illinois already has established one. It's costing taxpayers $10 million. Now, one Texas Democrat is taking it a step farther. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is suggesting that all Black people should be exempt from paying all taxes as a form of reparations. Here it is.
One of the things that they propose is Black folk not have to pay taxes for a certain amount of time, because then again, that puts money back in your pocket. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, we argue the reparations make sense, because so many Black folk, not only do you owe for the labor that was stolen and killed and all the other things. And so it's like, if you do the no tax thing for people that are already, say, struggling and aren't really paying taxes in the first place, it doesn't really exactly.
All right, we've just been jazz-plained.
Well, I tell you, the economic debate about reparations has been going on for quite a while now. It started out in California, now it's more national. Right. I will tell you, I was looking at two different studies from two different professors, one at Duke, one at Harvard. The estimated range of what it would cost on a national basis to pay reparations is anywhere from 10 to 19 trillion dollars.
Wait a minute, how much is our debt?
We are sitting on $28 trillion as a nation in debt right now.
More than half of
money
the
to
debt?
Ukraine, money, yes, that's what the overall cost would be if some of these discussions and proposals came to fruition. Look, slavery was America's original sin. I agree with Mitch McConnell on that, but we can't afford this right now. There are other ways that we could find, if we choose so as a nation, to give out reparations, but this is not the way. Financial payments is not the way, and more tax issues. And Marie is not the way.
Excuse me. So I think that
so let me
we
just
look, for
address
example, Evanston's program.
It
was very narrowly tailored.
Who goes into her tirade? So she said, if we do choose to decide to give reparations, first of all, it's not up to you to decide to give reparations. It's probably going to have to take an act of Congress. Just put that out there right there. So that was quite funny when she said that. And then also she said, we can't afford this right now. If not right now, then when, lady? The heat is up. Time is up. Cut the check.
To help with housing inequality, right? So it did things like tax credits and some payments to help address long-term segregation housing. That's a very narrowly tailored reparations bill, and they did studies.
What about poor white people?
Voters,
what do they get?
And voters supported that. But voters overwhelmingly supported it. I think what I would actually prefer to reparations.
Wait, did y'all just hear that? I gotta run that back again. Let's wait. Hold up. I want to wait just a tad bit. Just a little bit. Wait.
What I would actually prefer to reparations is to fix some of our longstanding problems that still exist in how we do federal government programs that are unequal, not just with race, but with class and with economy, a whole number of things. But some of these programs are tailored narrowly and I think can be beneficial to communities.
Do you think Black people shouldn't pay taxes?
I think everyone should pay taxes.
Okay. A high tide rises all boats. No, a high tide.
So this lady said, one of these two, I don't know if it was that YT lady or that so-called Black lady, said, what about poor white people? We're having a conversation about reparations. So why do we have to talk about poor white people? We have a conversation about poor white people every time you look at these politicians on the street. That's the first thing they do. We have to do something about our poor and our working class people. We're talking specifically about reparations, ladies. Let's stick to the topic. I'll throw that in there on the slick. I heard you.
Tide raises all boats. That's the point. That's what Donald Trump figured out, and that's how he lowered Black unemployment to the lowest it's been in 50 years.
I just don't think Black people need blue-haired liberals to rescue us. I think we're hardworking people. A lot of us didn't have it easy. But a lot of us are willing to do the work every single day.
And we can.
And we've been doing the work. The number one small businesses in the country is Black women. And so I think what would behoove, as Emily may say, the liberals to do is to remove some of the barriers that are blocking the progress of Black Americans. They prefer the teachers union when it comes to education. They prefer more regulation when it comes to our businesses. So imagine your ancestors going through slavery, you finally get something, you get a business, start putting money back in the community, and then the government wants to take 60% of that.
Now that's real talk. So let's just think about this. What he's saying makes absolutely sense. Basically, he's saying, in a nutshell, he agrees with the Congresswoman. Because if you go to work every day, they take out taxes out of your, if you're wage, whether you're a wage employee, or whether you're hourly employee, you're going to receive a W-2 at the end of the year, and at the end of the year, you're going to tell you how much taxes they withheld. So what the Congresswoman is proposing is that you keep your money. They don't take out taxes out of your payroll check. That's federal taxes. They don't take that out. And so what this gentleman is saying, imagine, you work hard owning a business, and as a business owner, you have to pay federal taxes on the money you've earned, and it's to the tune of 60%. How do you get a leg up? How is that equal? So he's agreeing with Congresswoman, but he's not saying that I agree with her. He's just saying it in a different way. Come on, brother, just say it. Yes, we shouldn't be paying that much taxes, right? So if we get rid of all those regulations called federal taxes, that regulation, right, having to pay into that, then yeah, we can be on an equal level playing field, and we can help spur the economy. When we have a leg up, when we have an equal standing with our white counterparts, then we actually spur the economy, right? We have more spending power, we have more purchasing power if we're able to keep more of our money. It's like you pay taxes, they take the money out of your earnings, and they holding it, and they don't even pay you interest on your money, and then they make you file this form to tell them how much money they withheld. I want y'all to marinate on that. Explain it to me like I'm a 2-year-old. You took the money, you're holding the money. Now you want me to fill out this form to tell you how much money you took from me so that you could give me my money back with no interest. Let's continue with the video.
You wouldn't need reparations if you fixed that.
And the high tide would help everybody.
That's
We're in
right.
this together. It's one country.
That's right. Look, I don't think any taxes under this administration, because we're not getting our money's worth, right? We're not safe. Nothing's happening, but not on the basis of skin color. And I kid. Just kidding, IRS.
Oh, yeah. We don't want them to come after you.
April 15th.
All right. Which car are we going to take, girl? I got you.
Okay, so that was that video. So what they didn't tell you guys is that the Congresswoman went on to say that she don't think that that's going to work. And this whole article and the whole discussion on Fox News was very disingenuous, because they claimed that she suggested that we pay no taxes. However, I'm going to go ahead and play the entire part to put that statement that you all heard on Fox News into context. This is what she said.
So many people, you have so many fans, first of all. So tell us, but before we get into your journey, I want to do legal hot topics. I know you're probably familiar with Wendy Williams' hot topics. So we're going to do 2 hot topics that have kind of been trending. One of them being UVA, which is actually my school. It would be my school. Is the second school now behind Colorado to decide that they're not going to no longer have legacy admissions. And we already know about the big Supreme Court affirmative action being removed, and everybody's saying, well, you know what? Let's just make it even across the board. Everybody just comes in on their own accord.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on schools saying, okay, well, there's no affirmative action, we're gonna take legacy away?
Listen, I appreciate the clapback. I'm here for it, especially since we know that the now nominee for the Republicans, I seriously doubt that he would have had his spot in business school but for being a legacy. And so, legacy gets that privilege, while going after things like affirmative action was trying to bring about some sort of equity, or at least semblance of equity. And so I think that it's only appropriate. You go ahead and you free up some spots. Being born with a silver spoon in your mouth should not give you a leg up from somebody who's worked really hard their entire lives to have a spot. So if we're going to open up spots, let's open them up, and let's make sure that they're available for everybody. So I appreciate it.
That's a great response. I definitely feel the same way. I mean, I went to UVA, and as you know, it's a predominantly white school.
Yeah.
But we have a great Black Student Association there that I'm still connected with to this day. But, sometimes, I go in certain rooms and they're like, oh, you went to UVA. And it's almost like, sometimes you get that feeling like, well, maybe they don't think that I got in.
Right.
Because of.
On your own merit.
On my own merit.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're right. Let's just wipe it clean.
And you bring up a really good point, because affirmative action was never about giving an opportunity to someone who could not meet the merit. It was about making sure that we were looking at the full spectrum of people. And we know that historically in this country, especially when it comes to education, there are different folk that are historically overlooked, regardless of their talents. And so just like you brought up an amazing point, you were qualified. The question is, would UVA have taken a look at you but for affirmative action to find out that they could have this beautiful Black woman who was qualified and could add to the fabric of who UVA is? We don't know. And some people have to be told, y'all got to look at everybody. And that's what affirmative action did. It wasn't a matter of you have to, they like to use the quota language.
Yes.
It was about making sure that you're looking at everyone.
Yes, I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Speaking of trying to figure out requirements, another hot topic, reparations across the country. I know California, recently New York, they're looking to push finally towards figuring out a way to move forward with reparations for Black Americans in this country. The issue, at least recently, that's been brought up is, well, how do we decide who qualifies? I know in New York, the recent thing was, well, you have to absolutely be a descendant from a slave. You can't be a Caribbean Black, or you can't be a Black person that maybe came to Africa and came later. So it's like, what are your thoughts generally on reparations? Because again, I would like to see if it's going to happen, that it's kind of consistently rolled out across the board. I don't know how hard that would be, because I know each state likes to do, I know you're a congresswoman, each state likes to do whatever they want to do, but I would like to see it as much as possible consistently rolled out. What are your thoughts?
I don't know about consistency. I mean, I think that's why you see someone like Sheila Jackson Lee, who has been a champion of reparations on the federal level, because there does need to be some continuity across the board. Otherwise, everybody gonna run to whichever state and be like, "Yo, I need mine," right? Exactly, right. And so we don't want to see that. This is something that definitely needs to be thought through. But when you have people that aren't even willing to do the studies, aren't willing to invest to make sure that we can roll this out the right way, and I think that's where we have to start. Just like anything else, we have to do the research. We have to figure out what would this look like in cost if we did it this way, or what about us doing it this way. I think just this past week I saw, I don't remember which celebrity, but it was actually a celebrity, and I was like, I don't know that that's not necessarily a bad idea, but I'd have to think through it a lot. One of the things that they propose is black folk not have to pay taxes for a certain amount of time, because then again, that puts money back in your pocket. But at the same time,
So y'all see how that worked? She said that she was watching a celebrity and she heard them suggest that we should not pay taxes. Black Americans should not pay taxes. And she heard someone else say it. In this interview, she repeated it. But the headlines, she's going viral, they're saying she suggested it. You see the trickery in their words? You got to be very, very careful. So she's going viral for suggesting it, but she wasn't the one that really suggested it. She just supports it. But listen, let her continue with it.
It may not be as objectionable to some people about actually giving out dollars, but obviously then you start dealing with the different tax brackets and things like that, and that's one of the reasons that we argue that reparations make sense, because so many black folk, not only do you owe for the labor that was stolen and killed and all the other things, right? But the fact is, like, we end up being so far behind, right? And so it's like, how do you bring forth people? Exactly. And so it's like, if you do the no tax thing for people that are already, say, struggling and aren't really paying taxes in the first place, it doesn't really exactly.
They may want those checks like they got during COVID.
Exactly. So but I think that we first need to do a study. We need to be very thoughtful. We need to talk about what will the implications be on not only the descendants of slaves, but also as it relates to the country as a whole. Like, we need to have a full understanding so that it's not so much conjecture, because what happens is everybody hypothesizes about what reparations will do on both sides, and then there's a breakdown because one side says it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread, the other side says it's going to be disastrous, instead of actually getting the data to show us these are the problematic parts, these are the not so problematic parts, and us actually crafting a thoughtful way forward. But to think that America doesn't owe the descendants of slaves is an error.
Well, obviously you're a congresswoman, so you know this. Wouldn't it maybe be easier for it to maybe just then be federal legislation? That way all states would have.
Oh yeah, no. This is what I'm absolutely arguing for that.
Okay.
It absolutely
Instead of each
needs
state
to
kind of doing their own thing, just like one legislation, each state follows this.
Yes.
Okay, definitely.
Yes.
So again, I don't know if and when this will ever happen, but it's just an interesting thing to think about. It was obviously that something that came up in the news recently. On to why we're here. It's all about you.
Okay, so there you have it. So what's the there? There is no there. She supports reparations, however. Let's start there, right? Now, in the form of reparations coming by way of us not paying taxes, I think that is fair. And I'm gonna tell you why. For years, our ancestors, of course, you guys know this already. I'm not saying anything that you don't understand and all don't already know. We worked for free and they didn't pay us anything. So now we're descendants of those very same ancestors. So let us work, you pay us, and we not pay you anything. I think that's a reasonable repair. Now, the point that our host on Fox News was missing is that if you do give Black Americans money, have them retain more of their earned income, then that would spur economic growth, because now Black Americans have more purchasing power. You can now have a better income to debt ratio, which qualifies you for more credit, which qualifies you to be able to purchase large access. So is this all about not wanting Black Americans to have a leg up or even be on a level playing field? I think this is what this is about. So don't miss this. This is happening this Saturday, April 13th. Third UN Permanent Forum on People of Afro Descent. Of course, you all know that there's this big push, the Afro-descendant nation, for reparations. If you have not voted, you should have received that email already. If you registered, the information is at the bottom of this flyer here. That's this Saturday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Reparations, recognition of Afro descendants as a people in the second international decade on people of African descent. Conversations are going around. I feel the energy. I'm loving the energy. You have to talk about these things. You have to have these very important conversations in order to come up with solutions. All voices are necessary. So let your voice be heard. But you have to first be informed. Stay in the know. Stay in the know. Coffee cups up. Tea cups up. This is coffee, herbs, and Achoti. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Reparations is in the news. Did y'all hear that this independent presidential candidate that supports reparations picked his VP choice, his running mate for the 2024 presidential election? Let's go ahead and take a listen to what happened on the Tavis Smiley show earlier this week.
Glad to have you tuned in today. So we have delivered as promised on letting you in on the know regarding who Dr. Cornel West, the independent candidate president, has chosen as his running mate. Her name is Dr. Melina Abdullah. She joins us live in the studio now, and I was just telling Melina before we came on the air live that if my recollection serves me properly, the last time I saw the two of you together, I just saw Dr. West a few days ago. For that matter, I saw you a few days ago. But the last time I saw the two of you together, we were all on stage, you, Dr. West, Chuck D, and me, at the 10th anniversary celebration of Black Lives Matter. I had no idea all those months ago that this might be in the offing. So let me start by saying congratulations, I think. This is about to be a serious journey for you, so congratulations. But just tell me, I want to give you a chance. Before you talk about yourself, tell me why, when Dr. West, I assume, reached out to you, you accepted his entry.
So let me just say thank you, Tavis. During the break, I just shared that, in a lot of ways, you're responsible for this. I met Dr. West for the first time when I was an undergrad at Howard. And then he came and spoke when I was chair of the Department of NFNC Studies at Cal State LA. And we stayed in loose contact, but you brought us together July of 2023 for the 10-year anniversary of Black Lives Matter. And I've been keeping up with this campaign, been really, really inspired. I mean, a platform of truth, love, and justice. What kind of platform is that? How can you not get behind that platform? And then, of course, I regard him, and many of us regard him, as one of the most brilliant people to ever walk this earth. And so I've been following him and had been really enthusiastic about his candidacy, and just was excited to be able to share space with him, to be inspired by him, to sit in his wisdom, and was not expecting the phone call that I got last week at all. Like, it was the furthest thing from my mind. And then he and his wife Anahita asked, and immediately my heart just soared. And I haven't felt that kind of life-giving energy since the last child I had. My youngest child is 14. And my soul and my spirit, and it felt as though God was speaking to me, said yes immediately, like shouted yes. And then I had to pull myself back into myself and say, okay, now you got to move based on your mind too. You have one of those too. And so I had to have conversations with my children, whose souls also soared, and my mother, who, you know how close I am with my mother and my family. And then, of course, Black Lives Matter leadership and our chapters, as well as the core team. We talked about what it would mean, and everybody was just over the moon. Sister Jan Williams, one of our core team members, this is how I knew it was right, because she started shoulder shimmying. So I was like, now that's a yes.
Oh, no, you got the shoulder shimmy. You're doing something now.
Right.
And by the way, speaking of shoulder shimmy, have you ever seen Dr. West dance?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you keep up with him?
No.
Okay.
Can you keep up with him?
No.
But his love for music and culture and people beyond his brilliance, right, is really, it's his, there's lots of smart people. Not all of them are righteous, right? There's lots of brilliant people. Not all of them are spirit-led or, followers of God. And I want to be clear also, I believe it's divine timing, because today, that I identify as Muslim. Today is Eid, which is the holiest day for Muslims. And Eid could have come tomorrow, or it could have come yesterday, but Eid came today. And so you mentioned this is the first all-Black ticket. I believe it's also the first ticket with a Muslim. Yeah.
I got questions about that, as you well know, because you know me.
Well, there you have it. If, in fact, Dr. Cornel West is able to get on the ticket or get on the ticket in many states, he will in fact be able to make history, having the first Muslim running mate, and she's a female. So that was very, very much interesting news. And if he chose her as his running mate, I'm sure that her spirit is in line with the fact that we are seeking reparations. So do not forget that. Do not forget that that's what this is all about. So aligning ourselves with those who are on the quest to receive what is owed to the descendants of slaves. Switching gears a little bit. It's not too late to donate to the Otho Wallace Legal Defense Fund. Mr. Otho Wallace has filed an appeal. He's appealing a 30-year sentence on manslaughter charges. And we need your help. Donate what you can, as often as you can. And if you would like to make a charitable contribution, this is an approved nonprofit organization through CLAP. This is news, facts, and comments. Please go there and subscribe. Here's where you can take a look at all of the news articles that's making news around the world. Sports, entertainment, finance, and of course, what's going on in the Black community. I will also be uploading my commentary on Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She says Black people should be exempt from paying taxes. She said you owe for the labor that was stolen. Oh, I like that. And so that would be the title of my commentary. Please subscribe to News, Facts, and Comments so that you can see that article and read that article, share that article when I drop it. So, you know what to watch out for this weekend. Saturday, April 13th. Join the webinar by clicking the link on Facebook. You go to Afro Descendant Nation's Facebook page. Look for this flyer. Click on the link to join the webinar. It doesn't cost you anything. Also, this weekend on Concerned Voices podcast, we're back with a very educational topic. We're going to be talking about nutrition. We're probably going to have to do parts 1 and part 2 of this one because our sister in Gemini has a wealth of information. So tune in on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to have a conversation about the importance of a nutritional diet. I'm going to have to reach out to my brother about that typo right there. Y'all know what the brother meant. Join us tomorrow, 4 p.m. And then, of course, you know, we do News, Facts, and Comments Sunday wrap session on Sunday. And this time on News, Facts, and Comments, we're going to be talking about what you see in the sky. Don't look up. Or should you be looking up? Should you be paying attention to what's going on in the sky? I say yes, yes, yes. It's very important that you do that. So, join us on Sunday, April 14th, at the usual time for the Sunday wrap session. This Sunday, my guest would be Michaela out of California. She's going to share with us her story and her following of the chemtrails. Chemtrails versus contrails, exposing America's hidden agenda. That's this Sunday on News, Facts, and Comments in conjunction with MajorTv. Let's talk. That's this Sunday, April 14th at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I thank y'all for tuning in to Coffee, Herbs, and Achoti. I so very much want to give a shout out to all of the faithful listeners. It is my pleasure to bring you the news. But like everyone out here, I gotta go and work. So, coffee cups up, tea cups up. This has been Coffee, Herbs, and Achoti. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Coffee cups up.